Pure, unwavering implacability provided a stout pillar upon which to lean in dire times. While the volatility of a shifting political landscape threw most of the Seven Kingdoms into chaos, the eastern province of the Vale withdrew within itself. Though more for a reason of selfish paranoia than shrewd foresight, the eastern region of Westeros avoided open conflict, and thus made it through the War of the Five Kings relatively unscathed. However, in the Seven Kingdoms, strife always found those who wished more than anything to avoid it. And with little warning, the Vale itself was wrenched from its peaceful hibernation. One house, however, led by one man, remained steadfast. This was House Royce, and this man was its leader, Yohn Royce. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Exploring Fiction. Bronze Yohn, as he was known across Westeros, assembled a coalition to put the pieces of his kingdom back together, and remains the greatest chance the Vale has for emerging from the disarray of the modern political landscape unscathed. He has cunning opposition, of course, but the fight for the heart and soul of a kingdom was never guaranteed to be easy. So, who exactly is Yohn Royce? And why is he such an interesting character? Let's explore. Yohn Royce was born on an undetermined year to the unnamed lord of House Royce and his wife, presumably in Runestone. Little was disclosed of Yohn's childhood, or even early adult life, but as the eldest son of House Royce, he inherited the seat at Runestone after the passing of his father. Yohn had three sons, Sir Andar Royce, Sir Robar Royce, and Sir Waymar Royce, and daughters as well, including Lady Isilla Royce. By the time of the current narrative, Bronze Yohn was also a grandfather, and in diplomatic and personal matters, he leaned heavily on Lord Nestor Royce, his cousin and head of the junior branch of House Royce. Lord Yohn participated in the infamous tourney at Harrenhal, where he was unhorsed by Prince Rhaegar Targaryen. He faced a similar fate in the tourney at Lannisport, where he fell to eventual champion Sir Jorah Mormont. In the festivities of Prince Joffrey's name day, however, Bronze Yohn fared much more favorably, garnering fame by defeating Thoros of Myr and his flaming sword with a mere mace. In the year 296 AC, Yohn's son Sir Waymar joined the Night's Watch, and his father personally rode with him to the far reaches of the north. The pair stopped in Winterfell on their journey, and Yohn was welcomed by the hospitality of the Starks. He even sparred with Lord Eddard Stark and Sir Roderick Castle, and defeated them both in turn. By this time, Lord Yohn Royce was weathered in the face, with grey hair, bushy eyebrows, and cool grey eyes. His hands were knobby and gnarled, and he stood quite tall amongst his fellow lords. And though he possessed a deep voice, Yohn often remained quiet and reserved. But his most defining feature, the one that gave him the nickname of Bronze Yohn, was the armor he donned in times of combat. This plate was of shining bronze, and covered in mysterious runes that were rumored to shield the wearer from harm. The armor of Lord Yohn Royce was said to be thousands of years old, and the grizzled noble guarded it as well as it guarded him. Bronze Yohn Royce makes his first appearance in the initial entry of A Song of Ice and Fire, A Game of Thrones. He journeys to King's Landing to participate in the King's Hand tourney, though his heart weighs heavy with the news of the death of his son Sir Waymar beyond the wall. However, he partakes in the festivities with his two remaining sons, and takes up temporary residence in the capital even after their conclusion. He even obtains the honor to participate in Lord Robert Baratheon's hunt for a white hart in the Kingswood, and is with the monarch when Lord Eddard Stark sends Sir Robar Royce to inform them of the mountain's rampage. But while King Robert lingers in the forest to pursue the giant boar that soon ushers in his doom, Yohn returns with his son to the city. Lord Royce is listed as a potential ally for Eddard by the sly Peter Baelish, but after the death of King Robert and the miscues of Ned, Yohn and the rest of the Royces retreat from King's Landing. They are called to return and swear fealty, but the crown is forced to turn its focus to more pressing matters than Eastern loyalty. In A Clash of Kings, Yohn Royce is virtually absent, though his son Sir Robar perishes in the south. Similarly, in A Storm of Swords, he is barely present, though Lady Lysa Arryn admonishes that she receives major pressure from Yohn to join the War of the Five Kings, as the man was and is on friendly terms with the Starks. In A Feast for Crows, Bronze Yohn Royce returns to relevance. After the suspicious death of his liege lady Lysa Arryn, Yohn gathers 5 other prominent lords of the Vale at Runestone and forms the Lords Declarant. Lord Peter Baelish, who stands as Lord Protector of the Vale through his marriage to Lysa, hears from Lord Nestor Royce that Bronze Yohn wishes to question the Bard Marillion, as well as remove Littlefinger from his new position. The Lords Declarant block the Gates of the Moon with their forces, and ascend the Giant's Lance to stand on level ground with Lord Baelish. In Littlefinger's company is Sansa Stark, disguised as Elaine Stone, and she worries that Yohn will recognize her from his previous stay at Winterfell. However, her fears are ungrounded, as both Lords Yohn and Nestor Royce fall for Littlefinger's farce. Yohn declares his intention of fostering Lord Robert Arryn at Runestone, and tensions rise at the negotiation table. Sir Lyn Corbray draws steel, and only through Bronze Yohn's booming authority does civility resume. The other Lords Declarant grant Peter Baelish 1 more year to prove his worth, and Yohn recedes in silent, fuming rage. Peter reveals to Sansa that Lyn Corbray is his man, and that Yohn should be the only noble of the Vale who will not bow to the will of the insignificant lord from the Fingers. However, Bronze Yohn cannot topple the Lord Protector of the Vale all on his own. Soon after, Yohn holds a melee at his home of Runestone, an event exclusive to squires, and Harold Harding, the heir of his younger cousin Lord Robert Arryn, wins the contest. For his victory, Yohn grants the young man knighthood. And so, Bronze Yohn Royce holds an important piece to the hierarchy of the Vale, as well as unrelenting ire for its current leader, in his hand and in his heart. Throughout the War of the Five Kings, the Vale remains neutral, not for sense of superior morality or any tactical advantage, but because of the paranoia of the kingdom's matriarch, Lady Lysa Arryn. She fears for her son, her seat, and her subjects, and so withdraws to the clouds to watch the battles from afar. Some of her bannermen, however, see this as folly and a lack of loyalty. Bronze Yohn Royce, in particular, yearns to take up arms with the fighting men of the North, not only due to his lady's blood lineage, but also to express his support for a family he respects. However, Lysa is only forced to enter the fold when it is too late, as Lord Peter Baelish brings the dying embers of the war to her doorstep. He marries the younger sister of the woman he loved, and takes advantage of her devotion to shove her to her doom, opening the door for himself to inherit the Vale. And out of all men, Lord Yohn Royce stands in staunchest opposition. Already irritated by his kingdom's inaction during the war, he despairs seeing it fall into foreign hands. Yohn forms the Lords Declarant, a coalition of fellow disgruntled nobles, and approaches Lord Baelish in an attempt to win back the Vale through negotiation. But Littlefinger cannot be beaten at his own game. He somehow twists the Lords Declarant around his finger, all but Bronze Yohn. The Lord of Runestone is too wise and too fierce to fall for Peter's tricks, and so retreats to his home to contemplate further action. While all his stolid comrades in arms bitterly swallow their defeat and manipulation, Bronze Yohn searches for the best ways to move forward. The rest of the East remains idle, but he will not watch as any more time passes by with an unwilling or unacceptable leader. And so, while the Vale suffers from selfishness, paranoia, and foreign influence, Bronze Yohn Royce champions his home. Through his thoughts, words, and actions, the Vale may yet see brighter days. Lord Yohn Royce was placed at an inopportune crossroads. He served his kingdom first, and it was inactive in a war to determine the fate of Westeros. His heart, contrastingly, yearned to fight for those who named him friend. After the Vale fell under new leadership, though, he could not stand idle any longer. Bronzion took matters into his own hands and rallied his fellow Bannerlords together, and even though they faltered at a time of great need, he did not. Lord Royce stood firm in his principles and prepared the men and women of Runestone to take up the true cause of the Vale when none else would. For this reason, Bronze Yohn Royce remains the lone hope for stability. So, that's all for this video. Leave a comment with your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new here. I'd love to have you. Visit my website, russellawellsauthor.com, for exclusive reviews, fiction, and more. And sign up for my mailing list for free exclusive content. The links for both are in the description below. And, like always, I will see you next time.